Yo, welcome everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Tuesday, episode 17. This is Coach D. Man, I'm so excited about today because last week, man, we've been talking about, well, I guess leading up the weeks prior, leading up to today, man, we've been talking about some critical things, man, critical things. One, if you don't remember, I want to make sure you understand that we were talking about the need to have conviction, right? Conviction. But we also talked about having commitments the week before that or the week after that. And then just last week, we were talking about being resourceful. I'm telling you, man, the key to being resourceful is everything. I told you, some of y'all, you got dreams, you aspirations, you have big goals, but because you don't have commitment, there's no bridge to get you from here, what you desire, to what you actually realize, what you actually see, right? There's no commitment. You don't have that. And you, even if you do have commitment, if you don't learn how to be resourceful, you still won't find yourself going from point A to point Z, right? So I really wanted to hammer that down. But man, let me say this today. Today, I think it's super critical that we go this route. Because you know, you got some people that's putting in work. I'm talking about like for real, putting in work. And you got other people who are talking like they putting in work. They making it sound good. But when you actually start to peel back and you start to take a deep dive into their situation, you realize, man, now you fronting, man. Like you not really putting in the type of work you say you putting in. And why is that important? Because at the end of the day, we got people, the ones that are putting in bare minimum, if that, efforts. We have them now looking up at the scoreboard and like, man, why is it 50 to 3 right now? Why is it? Why are we getting blown out? You scoreboard watching instead of putting in the effort that you got to put in order to get the results that you're looking for. And so tonight for this episode 17, I want to talk about comparison. And I heard it put this way, man, that comparison is the thief of joy. But that's not the quote I want you to hang your hat on tonight, man. But just understand, comparison is deadly. It's deadly, man. Especially when you're not comparing like things, if that makes sense, comparable things. In other words, I can't say, man, I ain't really producing fruit. Like I'm not producing apples, for instance. Well, if you're not an apple tree, why would you produce apples? Right? If you're not that type of person that believes in making sacrifices for the things you want, then why would you expect to get what you want if you're not willing to sacrifice for it? So anyway, I'm gonna digress for a moment, but I want you to hear what I'm saying, man. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Comparison is deadly. Please stop doing that. So for my young kings that are out there, for my young kings that are like, man, honestly, Coach D, man, and you want it just to be handed to you on a silver platter. Stop it, man. I was at been to a few games, you know, since the football season started. You know how Texas is, man. We big on football. It's almost like the towns be shutting down, man, when football come through. For small towns, for sure, that's what it is for real. But nonetheless, man, I've been going to football games, and when I would go, I've noticed when the team is winning, man, everybody lit. Everybody like, man, everybody hype. But once the team gets busted in the mouth and they get scored on, I'm seeing players, man, start to do this number. They hanging their head. Instead of moving with all this energy, they're over here walking to the huddle. They going from the sideline to the field and they walking. Or they barely got a jog. They going into the halftime, into the locker room, and they barely jogging in, When they come out, they hang in their head. Why? Because they keep looking at the scoreboard. And every time more points keep being added by their opponent to the scoreboard, what happens? Their head goes lower and lower. Attitudes start to happen. And I'm saying tonight, man, no more scoreboard watching. No more. I ain't just talking about sports. Let's go beyond sports. You're seeing people get what they want, and you're like, man, I want that too, but you're not realizing the sacrifice they had to put in to get that. You're not realizing how long they've been sacrificing, how long they actually been putting in effort. They've been grinding. Man, how meticulously they have planned out their moves. Like, this ain't something I just woke up and started doing. Like, I spent hours, days, weeks, months, years even, like mapping out this strategy that I'm executing. And so for you, I don't want you to try to compare yourself to the next person and wondering why you can't get what they got. No, stop all that, man. Let's kill that for a moment. I'm going to take you back for a minute. And before I do, I'm going to just take this time right now, man, to just shout out one of our sponsors, our premier sponsor, Startup Waco, man. Startup Waco is an organization, nonprofit organization that brings entrepreneurs, community leaders, and business owners and the like all in one place, and they're helping to give them a phenomenal start, helping to create this amazing community of like-minded individuals so that each other can sharpen one another and make each other better. They can support one another. And so Startup Waco, I thank you for being our premier sponsor for tonight's episode 17. No scoreboard watching, man. Again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate you not just sponsoring this show, but also for sponsoring our endeavors that we have, the different initiatives, one being Hope for the Underdog. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, let me get back to it, man. So I want to take you back for a moment, because when I had lost my dad, many of y'all heard the story about me losing my pops. I'm 14 years old and he passed away in my arms. But what you did not know was leading up to my father's the final years of his life, my relationship with my dad was, we weren't emotionally connected, man. Like there wasn't this bond that I always wanted from my pops. There wasn't the support that I got from him, where he would show up, to school, and where he would be, actively involved, with the things I got going on, football, band, whatever, man, academics, whatever I was doing. For a long time, I had wanted my pops to be a part of that, man. And I remember a time when my dad had got off of work, and at this point, I'm in elementary school. But I remember him getting off of work, man. I was so excited to see my pops. I'm waiting at my grandmother's house. Me and my little brother Quincy, we're waiting at our grandparents' house for my daddy to get off of work. We were out of school, and he finally gets off of work, man. He comes to the front door, knocks on the door. We open up the door, and I'm like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy!" And I run to my pops, man. I go give him a hug. My man hits me with a mean stiff arm, Heisman Trophy style, right? And I'm like, dang. But that wasn't the first time he did it. Matter of fact, he did that several times, man. And I kind of got used to it. So I wasn't so quick to run up and give him a hug. I was like, hey, what's up, Pops? Kind of trying to be cool about it. But I wanted to have that connection, man. The thing that really that made me want to have it, other than a natural, innate, desire, is I started seeing other people talk about how they spent time with their dad over the weekend and how they were doing some cool stuff. And I would see how the dads would show up and drop their kids off at school, man. See how the dads would show up at school, and be a part of different things, show up to their games and stuff. And I'm looking like, man, where my daddy at, right? And what was I doing, man? I started to compare myself to other people. And I'm like, Dad, like, Daddy, I really want you to be here is what I'm thinking. I've never really expressed it to him, though. I didn't, as far as what I can remember. I never sat down and say, Daddy, man, like, it's important for me to have you at school. It's important for you to be, for us to be connected. I didn't know how how to really say that if I had the permission to say it to him. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't do that, man. But let me be honest with you, man. When I kept seeing all these other people and their dads showing up, I felt a certain kind of way. And so here I was, scoreboard watching. I'm like, man, I see them putting up points, man. Daddy done came to schools and scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? That Daddy done bought them a brand new pair of cleats. I'm like, dang, they done scored another touchdown. I'm like, man, Daddy actually taking the friends, out to eat with the son. I'm like, dang, man, he done scored another touchdown. I'm looking like, man, I ain't got no points on the board right now. Maybe a field goal. I felt a certain kind of way, but it wasn't until my pops had got, I think at this point, I'm probably about in 7th grade. I'm in band. I'm doing some football, doing some track, that kind of stuff. And my dad starts to come around, man. And that was beautiful for me. Like, that's something I always wanted. Listen to me. That's something I always wanted, was for my pops to be there. You might be the same way. You like, man, listen. Like, man, he ain't never lying, Coach D. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want Daddy to be there. I want Mama to be there. I want whoever, man. I want support. I'm not getting that, but I'm seeing everybody else that I know, they got support. I don't want you to scoreboard watch, though, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because what happens when you start to scoreboard watch, now you start to become ungrateful for the things you do have. Because even though I didn't have what I saw my friends, what appeared to be that my friends had, and my classmates, schoolmates, all of them, I still had some things I could be grateful for. Real talk. Like, my daddy could have been like, hey, bump it. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with you. And truth of the matter, what I later found out is that the dude that I'm named after, Darryl Sr., he turns out not to even be my biological father. I learned that when I became a grown man. But back then, I wasn't even privy to that, man. But listen, man. So he could have easily said, you know what, man, you're not even my blood son. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't have to take care of you. And he could have just abandoned me altogether. Things to be grateful for. You understand? Like, there's so many things that we can be grateful for. My dad, like, as much as he was not involved, he was still out there working his tail off to make sure we had a roof over our head and food to eat. Like, he was still doing that. Even though he couldn't he didn't know how to verbalize his emotions or his feelings towards us, he still showed us that he cared. Even in those times, man, where we would be playing the video game, man, we playing Super Nintendo. For those that remember that, right? We playing Mario Kart, Super Mario. Like, we doing, man, what other games do we have? Oh, anyway, we were playing games, you know what I'm saying? And he would get on the video games with us every now and again. He was showing us that he cared. What am I saying? Be grateful, dog. Listen, man, be grateful. Stop all that scoreboard watch. Like my football players that I've been watching here lately, and they looking at the scoreboard and they getting down. Man, be grateful. Listen, we still got a quarter and a half to go, bro. Be grateful. I still got an opportunity to go out there and help my team bounce back. Man, I still got an opportunity to play the game that I love. I still got an opportunity. I got fans in the stands, parents, family, whoever it may be, whoever it is, I got them in the stands. They rooting for me, man. I still got an opportunity to give them something to root for. Be grateful. And that's what I'm finding with a lot of young people nowadays, man. Not only are we scoreboard watching and we comparing ourselves to the next person, but now we find ourselves being ungrateful for what we really do have. Something as simple as that. You got breath in your body, dog. If you got breath in your body, man, be grateful. What can I do with this breath? What can I do? Can I at least, man, say, hey, Lord, thank you. Like, I appreciate you for giving me this breath. I don't know what to do right now. Like, I'm a little lost, but I'm grateful that I at least have breath in my body. Come on, somebody, talk to me, dog. Like for me, I realized that the more I stopped looking at the scoreboard and I started to really take inventory of what I had in my life, still had my little brother Quincy, still had my pops who didn't know how to show his emotions, who didn't know how to really emotionally connect with me. But he showed it the way that he knew how to do it. I still had, rides to and from school, right? I was still able to do sports that I wanted to play, activities I wanted to do. I was able to still do some things, right? Be grateful. So anyhow, I'm already jumping into the King's toolbox, but I wanted to just say that, man. Let me go over real quick because there's an article that I was reading, man. I thought this was really interesting. I'm just gonna share it with you. All right, normally I'll pull it up, but there's an ex-NFL player. His name is Eric Johnson, and Eric Johnson, he played in the NFL for, I think it was 6 years. And this was back 1999 to 2005, I believe, were the years. He played for Arizona Cardinals, I want to say. He played for the Raiders, and there was a couple other teams that he played for. He actually made it to the Super Bowl one year when he was playing for the Raiders. But anyhow, this man right here says ex-NFL player Eric Johnson arrested on human trafficking gang charges. All right. This article came out in 2023 when this came out. I think, let me see. I'm pulling it up right now. Trying to see when this one came out. Yep, it was February 17, 2023. Former NFL player Eric Johnson among 8 arrested on human trafficking gang charges. Catch what else it says, man. I'm going somewhere here, so just stay with me. It says Eric Johnson, who played 6 seasons in the NFL from 2000 to 2005. What they doing over here? Hold on. All right, here we go. It says it's among 8 accused of trafficking 4 women and 1 girl, as well as other gang-related charges on Thursday. Attorney General Chris Carr says the Lotto, L-O-T-T-O gang members are facing charges of trafficking of persons for sexual servitude, violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. So Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, they call it for short RICO, the RICO Act. And then he's also violated the he has aggravated assault and kidnapping as well. Let me see what else I want to share in this. The indictment of the Lotto gang is extensive, as it found 41 predicates and overt acts that were committed between October 2021 and July 2022. In there, it said the gang kept women who they trafficked under control through violence and held them against their will. Throughout the state, gangs are actively engaged in human trafficking as primary means to make money. That part right there. And we're all using all available resources to fight back and protect our most vulnerable. And so this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you. The crazy part about this, and the reason why this ties into the scoreboard watching, is that, let me go back to the definition of racketeer for a moment, and then I'm going to tie it all in. So racketeer, influenced and corrupt organizations, RICO, is what that is the abbreviation of that. The RICO Act is a federal law that was enacted in 1970 to combat organized crime. So here it is, this former or ex-NFL player, Eric Johnson, he's involved with the gang, and they have this whole criminal operation going on, like organized crime operation going on, where it involves human trafficking, sexual servitude. They pretty much got women, they pimping women is what is happening, right? And they're using violence to keep them under their control. He's doing it. Why? I don't know. I guess the biggest reason when it comes to racketeering, the whole purpose that it is organized crime to get money. So you're exploiting people in order to get money, right? And so who are they exploiting? These women, these 4 women and this one girl that it mentioned, but I'm sure it's a lot more than that. Why is this an issue? Or how does this pertain to scoreboard watching? Because my man went from making millions, right, in the NFL to now he's making money illegally doing these criminal acts. When we start scoreboard watching, what happens? One or two things begin to happen, man. One, the comparison caused us to start looking at us, and we looking at them. We looking at us. We looking at them. We're like, dang, man, what they doing that I'm not doing? Why can I get the same results that they getting? And then what happens is, if we keep looking at that situation long enough, we start to get desperate. And if we're not getting desperate, we become discouraged to the point of being bitter and resentful and all this kind of stuff. So for my man right here, Eric Johnson, I believe that once he couldn't play in the NFL anymore, he's like, man, I still want to go get that money though. I still want a team. All right, let me go hook up with homeboy because they seem to be making money, and he getting money the way that he know he ain't supposed to be getting it. Involved in these organized crimes. Why? Because again, he's trying to compare himself maybe to some of his homeboys that are still in the league making money, or to younger cats that came up behind them, and they using their talents, their skill set, their athleticism to be able to make money and live the kind of life that he wish he could. Maybe that has something to do with it. My point is this though, young king, you can't afford to keep scoreboard watching. You can't, man. Stop the comparison piece. I want to share this quote with you because I thought this was super, super important. Watch this. So it says, we won't be distracted. We won't be distracted by comparison if we are captivated by purpose. Now, you know, like I know, I'm going to go back to Eric Johnson since I've been using him. My man played NFL football 6 years, made it to the Super Bowl with the Raiders, end up, you know, not playing after six seasons. Okay. There's a start and an end to everything. It's just the way it is, right? There's an expiration date. You decide you want to go play football in the league, cool. Just know there's going to come a point in time where you got to hang up your cleats. When you hang up your cleats, understand that now another season of your life happens. And when there's another season, there's a purpose for every season. So although his time in the NFL is up, he no longer has a purpose as an NFL player. He now has to find, he now has to find purpose in whatever the new season is of his life. So some of y'all, the reason why you're getting tricked into comparing yourself to the next person is because you don't recognize the purpose of the season that you're in. I've seen a lot of young men, a handful of young men who are like very, very gifted and talented. So much so that they got offers from all over the country. They got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 offers, right, from these different colleges and universities that are at the D1 level. And they've been getting that. But they've been getting that because they understand the purpose of the season in which they're in. They know, man, listen, my whole thing right now is position my family or position myself to where colleges can't help but look at me. Because I got a plan. Like I got an objective that I'm trying to hit. So I'm being very intentional about setting myself up for these looks. Some of you may be in a similar season to where you have opportunities that are similar, that are presented to you, but you don't recognize the purpose of your season. You don't recognize this as being your opportunity right now to put in the work that you need in order to get the eyes on you that need to be on you in order to get the offers that you're looking for. Does it make sense? So what I'm saying here is know your purpose. Know the purpose of the season that you're in. And once you know the purpose of the season that you're in, now you won't be looking at the next person to your left or to your right, trying to see what they doing, what they got going on, and trying to see, okay, do I compare to what they like? Am I on the same level? Am I like you won't even take time to do all that. Why? Because you're locked in on your purpose for the season. So with EJ, Eric Johnson, he got to a point where his NFL career was over. So football playing days over. All right. I had to hang up the cleats. Now, what's the purpose of this season? And if you still on that, well, I'm trying to make money, trying to put my family on. Okay, cool. But think about it for a moment. How are you going to make that move to put your family on beyond the football days? And many of us, we so busy looking at everybody else, we won't even look at our own selves and our own future. And I'm saying tonight, young king, stop looking at everybody else, man. Look at you. Focus on what your desires are. Understand what the purpose of this season is for you. It may not even have nothing to do with going to college and playing ball or going to the league. It may be, man, listen, I just need to get my head on straight. When we got ready to graduate high school, man, I was top 10% of my class, man. It could have been, like top out of the top 5 people if I really had like stayed focused. But I wasn't staying focused, man. And I got to a point, man, where my senior year came, and I'm looking at my situation, at my reality. I was like, bruh, we about to graduate in a few months. I haven't applied to any colleges. I got a girl I really care for, and I also found out my girl's pregnant. I was like, what do I do, man? Like, I'm about to have a whole baby. Like in some months, I'm about to have a whole baby. I'm about to be a daddy for real. Like, what do I do? And I'm really like thinking about that. And as I started to think, I'm like, all right, well, if I do what my classmates are doing, they about to go to college. Some about to go play football at the next level. Others just about to go to school just to get a degree. I was like, if I do what they do, man, listen, it's going to be hard, bro. And so I began to think for myself. I stopped looking at them. I said, man, all right, no, forget them. What does DJ have to do in this moment to make sure that he can set himself up for the next season? So first thing I did, I stopped scoreboard watching. Second thing I started to do, I started to pay attention to the purpose of the season I'm about to step into. You about to be a daddy. You about to be like, you really care for her. You thinking about marrying her. So you about to be a family man, bro. What you gonna do? I said, well, I gotta get my head on straight. And so the thing I had chose to do coming straight out of high school wasn't go to college. It wasn't go get a regular job. I said, nah, man, I got to get my head on straight. I got to make sure that I'm disciplined. I got to make sure I'm mature enough to be able to handle these responsibilities. I got to make sure I give benefits for my family so we can take care of this baby and all this kind of stuff. So I chose to go into the military. And me being the crazy one that I am, man, I said, nah, I think I want to go into the Marine Corps because I'm that type. I know me well enough to know, okay, I thrive on challenges. You got to know you, young king. And so I chose the Marine Corps, went in, did a couple of tours, man, ended up getting out. I did 5 years, worked on radars, went to Kuwait in 03, went to Iraq in 04. But by the time I had got out, my head was on straight, man. And not only was it on straight, but I was in a position where I was able to take care of my family responsibly. You understand what I'm saying? I understood what the purpose of the season was that I was in and the one I was about to get into. I knew, okay, while I'm still in high school, before I graduate, I got to make a move that's going to set me up to take care of this family I'm about to have. All right, boom. Once I got into the military, I said, all right, man, this is it. Like, I go home every day to my wife. I go home every day to our baby girl. Our baby boy is born, a couple of years later. I said, I'm going home to my kids. I want to make sure that I continue to put them in a good spot. And so that was me not paying attention to what my homeboys and everybody else was doing. I said, man, let me focus on my family. Let me focus on the season I'm in. I'm telling you the same thing, young king. Focus on the season that you're in. So let's get to the King's Toolbox and we're getting up out of here. So for the King's Toolbox, I want you to think of two things, man. And there's really three, but I'll give you two. One, I want you to think about what I told you. I said comparison is the thief of joy, but the quote I really want you to focus on is that when we won't be distracted by comparison if we are captivated by purpose. I'm gonna say it again. We won't be distracted by comparison when we are captivated by purpose. So what I need you to do is stop looking at what's going on, what they're doing, and start focusing on what your purpose is right now. I don't care what the aspirations are. What are yours? I don't care what they're willing to sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? I don't care how many people are looking at them. Are you looking at you? And who's counting on you? Right? This is us defining purpose at this moment. I need you to define the purpose of your season, young king. Because the minute you can begin to define the purpose, okay, the season right now that I'm in may be just preparation. I just need preparation. I need to get prepared for the next. Great. I'm glad you're thinking. Well, what do you need to get prepared to do? Or how does preparation look? Man, I got to start being more sensitive to time, man. Like I'm always late to stuff. Okay, good. So how can you now be more sensitive to time? I'm gonna start setting timers, 30 minutes at a time. I'm setting timers to make me more aware of time. Okay, great. I'm gonna make sure I got my stuff prepped for the next day the night before. I got clothes, got my bag, got whatever I need. All this stuff is put together the night before. You're practicing preparation. This is what I found, man. That many of us, we say we want this, we want that, but we fail to prepare for this and for that. And the way that we fail to prepare for it is we're thinking it's just going to happen instead of positioning ourselves to make it happen. So position yourself. So again, I'm going back to me. When I got ready to graduate from high school, what did I do? I started to think, how can I take care of my wife and my children? I'm asking myself these questions. What's the best way to go about carrying out these family responsibilities? All right, military. Okay, what branch? Marine Corps. Why? Man, because it's going to help me to, like they say, it's the hardest. So it's going to be like a lot of challenges, and that's going to help me to rise, to those challenges, right? To overcome those. Okay, cool. So Marine Corps, bet. All right, so next move is what? I need to go talk to a recruiter. Okay, boom, let me go talk to a recruiter. And I'm really thinking these things out, man. And if I didn't know the answer to it, well, what recruiter should I go to? Like, where's the recruiter at? And I just start asking, hey, what's the name of that recruiter be coming up here, during school? Oh, that's Gunnery Sergeant Gary. Or Gunnery Sergeant Lee, that was the name, Gary Lee, right? It's crazy. I remember that. It's 25 years ago, man. But anyhow, for me, I knew that if I didn't have the answer, that's where the resourcefulness comes in, that I was gonna go find it. Like somebody that I was in close proximity to, they either had the answer or they can direct me to where the answer is. And I'm saying the same thing for you, young king. I'm using me for an example because I want you to get the picture. But what I'm saying for you is understand what season you're in. If it is a season of preparation, bet, let's prepare. If it's a season of you actually just getting better, then get better. But know what you need to get better in. And if you like, man, I don't really know what I need to get better in. I just know I be getting an attitude with people. I'm not really patient with people. Man, I know that people be getting on my nerves. Well, then you define what you need to get better in. Man, you need to become more patient. You need to be more considerate. You need to be more empathetic towards people. Okay, cool. Start writing that stuff down, young king. I remember a girl, man. And this is while I was I think I was a junior in high school, man. And she came up to me one time during the passing period. And she said, "Can I tell you something?" I was like, "Yeah." And for me, man, like I used to walk around and like I kind of got this look on my face. Like what's up? Like looking like I'm mad all the time. But I wouldn't even be mad. It's just that was the look. And she came up to me one time. She said, "Man, you look so much better or so much cuter," or something she had said. It was something along those lines. She said, if you just smile, like, why you always looking mad?" And at that point, man, I remember going home. I'm in the bathroom mirror, man, constantly trying to like work on my smile, right? But but in that season, I knew what I wanted to work on. That's my point. Why? How did I know what I needed to work on? Because somebody pointed it out to me. For you, you may not know exactly what you need to work on or what the season may be, but you're going to be getting these hints and these clues from people around you. They're going to start saying some of the same things. And the thing you keep hearing repeated is probably what you need to be focusing on in that season. Man, you just being lazy. Why are you being so lazy, boy? Like, come on, let's go. You hearing that a lot. We need to work on building a stronger work ethic. You understand what I'm saying? Man, you showed who got a quick attitude, man. You got a mouth on you, bruh. Like, you quick to cut somebody out. You need to work on you need to work on that attitude. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people are going to help you. There's going to be hints all around. You just start paying attention to that. So that's the first thing, young king. Begin to understand what the purpose of your season is. All right. The second thing I want you to think about, and this is the last one, and we up out of here. The second thing I want you to think about is to practice gratitude. Stop looking at your situation and only seeing what you don't have. Stop looking at your situation and all you can think about is the lack part. Well, I don't have this. Well, my daddy ain't that, and he ain't here when I need him for this, and man, this person that, and I don't never get no opportunities, and you thinking about all these negative things. Start making a list of all the stuff you're grateful for. Man, I woke up this morning. I still got life. I still got an opportunity. Man, I haven't applied to that college yet, but I got an opportunity to apply to that college. I ain't got to look from them yet, man. But you know what? I'm about to start putting together my tape, my film, and all these different highlights of me. I'm about to, and when I get on the field, I'm gonna make sure, man, I get some things I can add to my highlight reel, and they gonna see me. They're gonna see me. But you have opportunities. Be grateful for what you do have. So start taking inventory of the things that you're grateful for. You got supporters, you got N1s, you got coaches, you got mentors, you got your little Quincy's, man, your reason to keep going, people that count on you to make the right move. You got so many things that are working for you. I need you to start being grateful for those things. You understand? Be grateful. Those are two things I want to leave you with. Identify what the purpose of the season is, then also start taking inventory of the things you're grateful for. And that's going to help you to stop scoreboard watching, and that's going to kill that comparison. All right, that need to compare yourself to other people. And I don't remember how the quote goes. I just remember Michael Jordan, he said something to the fact that he said, when I would go out on the court, he said, I wasn't competing against whoever lined up against me. He said, I was competing against the version of me that stepped on the court yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I was competing against that version. In other words, I'm only focused on getting better. I'm not focusing on, am I better than him? That doesn't even factor into the equation. That's how he was looking at stuff. He said, the only thing that mattered to me was I better today than I was yesterday? And all I'm saying is, if you're going to compare yourself to anybody, compare yourself to the person you were on yesterday. Are you better today? And the answer is no. Houston, we got problems. If you're not better than you were on yesterday, Houston, we got problems. So compare yourself to yesterday's version of you. not to the people that you see to your left and your right. Listen to me. I told you, man, winning is a choice. It is. It is. And I want to help you to continue to win. So every single Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, man, meet me right here. Real Talk Tuesday. Man, we're going to go deeper even next week. And stay tuned, man, because once a month, I'm bringing in a special guest to be able to come in and to help, man, give you some game that's going to help you to win, not just in whatever field or sport that you may be in, but to help you to win as a young king, to help you to win as a young leader, to help you win as a man. All right. So make sure you stay locked in. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button. Make sure you do subscribe, man, for sure. And also share this video, man. All right. Do that. Do that. Share this video with somebody that you really care about, another young king. All right. Like I told you, you are a winner, but winning is a choice. So whatever you do, do not quit. This Coach D, man. It's been good. It's Real Talk Tuesday. I'm out.